Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, I'd just be down here in the man cave, drinking some rum, talking to myself. And I want to welcome each and every one of you guys into the Joe Boo Sports Report. And I see Matt is already here. Welcome to the sports show, Matt. How are you guys doing tonight? Now, it's been one hellacious week for me. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but damn. It's been a long week. Hello, Marcellus. Work has literally kicked my ass. I worked actually nights from like 4 o'clock to midnight, and then sometimes I had to be back in at 6, 7 in the morning. So it was rough. So don't have a whole lot prepared, but I definitely am always here ready to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And hopefully our stream looks pretty good today. I've been working around, and I apologize for all of you people who have gotten seen that I'm doing a live stream, but for whatever reason, the hotkey is the backspace, and I cannot figure out how to change the hotkey. So automatically, I'm sitting here trying to redo the settings, and hopefully the picture is a little clearer. Unfortunately, though, that means it's going to be clearer on me, and you're going to see this ugly old face that's right here. But I would end up working on the settings, and next thing I know, I'm getting people that are texting me or saying, hey, you're on live, but there's no picture, there's only sound. So, I've still got a lot to learn, because you guys all know I'm old and technology challenged, and everything that you see on the Joe Boo Sports Report, all of the videos, all of the live stream, the website, everything that is done here, with the exception of the intro, is all done by me, and I'm kind of learning on the fly. So growing up without a computer and now having to do all this stuff myself, it's kind of hard, but it's getting along. And those of you that have been here for the last year or so, you know the changes that we've made. So the fact that we have, 2 cameras and everything that are working, hopefully better sound quality, and definitely better video, know that we're working on upgrading everything. Thank you, Jackie. Welcome to the show tonight. This is actually one of my Father's Day presents. I got lucky because my wife is one of those people who cannot keep a secret, and when she gets a gift, she just wants to share it right away. So this is one of the 2 shirts, Let Zeke Eat, that I got for Father's Day. My son, of course, got me my great Dallas Cowboy draft hat here, and bought me some fish for the fish pond as well. So, for everybody, all the fathers out there, hope you guys all have a fantastic Father's Day. And everybody out there that's got a dad, don't forget them here on Father's Day. And what better gift can you get them than some Dallas Cowboy gear? And by the way, I keep getting a lot of people that ask me about my jerseys and stuff. And no, this is not a Jason Garrett jersey. Okay, this is actually Cowboy Joe Boo. This is the one I'll be wearing for this season, for the 17th season. And each year, I get a jersey made up. The first one being 2013 that I had Joe Boo, and wear it for the season. With the exception of one year, I didn't get one for 2015, and whoa. Yeah, 2015, I did not get one for Joe Boo, and you know what happened in the 2015 season. Yeah, I think that was Joe Boo's revenge for me not getting that jersey, because that season stunk to high hell. My wife is not exactly. My wife works with the NFL. And so working with the NFL, she works with different players from different teams and all that. So she stays kind of neutral, okay? For a while there, she was a fan of the Redskins because she was working with Santana Moss. Then she kind of became an Eagles fan for a minute because of Nnamdi Asomugha and so on. And now she's just kind of neutral, so she just likes all the NFL teams. Me, on the other hand, I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, just like my son. And for those of you guys that keep saying that your son looks like he's ready to kill you every time he's on a video, he's just a little camera shy, but he is a true blue Dallas Cowboy fan. He's got a tattoo of a star right here that he got a few months back. So we're definitely a Dallas Cowboy fan club here. Let me go ahead and say hello to everybody tonight. I see Jackie's here. How you doing tonight, Jackie? Quentin Lewis, Jack Duncan, Ricardo, why anybody but the boys? Well, you know what, Jackie, I told her that if she ever became a fan of the Giants, that we were going to get a divorce. I just couldn't have her be a fan of all the teams in the NFC East and not the Cowboys. Um, but hey, she she knows that she roots for the Cowboys kind of quietly. We've had this saying that sometimes during every time the Cowboys get to the playoffs, she's hoping the Cowboys do well. For some reason, they don't. So I'm like, honey, just don't root for the Cowboys. Just don't say anything. But that's just kind of like the little secret right here between us. Um, Stephen Hurt, I don't recognize the name, but welcome to the show. Dak Prescott, everybody, Sandman, there you are. Letitia, how you guys doing? Tyrone the One, 40th Black Street. Boy, we got everybody in the house tonight. Well, sadly, we're back to that true offseason now. We've got 5 weeks where there's nothing going on the field, which is okay. I hope. This is the time that I worry the most because this 5 weeks, it's the last time off for the players. After this, training camp starts. It's literally 6 days a week. They're playing football. They get 1 day a week off. They're hot and heavy in training camp between, waking up in the morning, chalk talk, walk through on the field, weightlifting, treatment, classroom, then afternoon practice, more training, stretching, treatments, more chalk talks. I mean, literally, I remember when I played football. Now, when I played football back in the 80s and stuff, it was totally different than it is now because our college coach, Jim Przicki, ran it like a boot camp, literally. We literally got up and we were on the practice field at 7 o'clock for our first practice. And I mean, we got up, we went to the locker room, we got dressed, we got on the field. Then we had brunch after that practice. So you practiced on an empty stomach. While we were eating breakfast, we were eating in individual groups, offensive line, defensive line, quarterback, so on. And we were having a chalk talk while we were eating brunch. From there, we went to weight training. From there, we went back to classroom work and film study. From there, special team practice. After special team practice, you had 2 hours, and then we had our afternoon practice. Afternoon practice, stretching, we had something else, and we had another chalk talk. But literally, it was from 7 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. It was nothing but football for 4 weeks. That is the life of an NFL player come the 24th of July. Their life is no longer their own through at least the end of the year. So now is that last time to kind of get wild. And I pray nobody gets in trouble with the Dallas Cowboys. Because this is kind of the last hurrah, the last party, You're about to join the military. We're going to get a send-off. And I'm hoping that these guys are as focused as they have been during training camp. I mean, during OTAs and this offseason, and don't have anybody that gets in any trouble. For the most part, I think everybody on that team is a stand-up, straight-up guy that I don't think we have to worry about. But you never know when a Nolan Carroll incident may happen where going out having a little fun, have a few too much to drink, and get pulled over. So hopefully these guys will understand anything we do is going to get magnified. And it's all about focusing in on 5 weeks from now. This 5 weeks, to me, I talked about this in a video earlier today, is going to be huge for Jaylen Smith. If you've never played football, you have to understand what it's like Monday morning after a game. I see Victor Baker. How you doing, Mr. Wright? Corey, Odell Beckham. What? Okay, so we got a giant troll in the house. Welcome to the man cave. Now, Odell Beckham, let me go ahead and say this much. I have no problem with fans of other teams coming in. Oh, hold on. Let's do it this way. Odell Beckham, I have no problem with fans of other teams. I have no problem with you stating what you want to say about your team. But what I'm going to tell you is make sure you have your facts together because I will argue and debate with anybody. But if your shit's not together, believe me, you will get beat down in a debate with me. Still waiting for Stephen A. Smith to go ahead and debate me, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. So we'll see about that one in the future here. But anyway, like I said, everybody's welcome in the house here. I want to thank everybody who's done super chats and everything else. I am hoping that my man got his Tyron Smith shirt that I sent him along with the Shot Guys case. If you haven't, be sure to go ahead and give me. I mean, if you have, let me get a picture of that with you. I would definitely want to see you with that. Well, Chris Pearson, I don't know about Nolan Carroll being doo-doo because, see, when he played with the Eagles have a way of just screwing guys up. And he was not in the right system for his skill set. And that's a lot of times you'll take a guy who has a lot of talent in one system, but it doesn't translate to another. I'm hoping that's what it's going to be with Stephen Paya because he was in that 4-3 defense in Chicago, thrived in it, but then he went to Washington, which is the dumpster fire, and ended up going to a 3-4 defense. And from there, he went to Cleveland, and Cleveland is like Siberia to me. That's where, you just basically go to die. So getting to Dallas back with Rod Marnelli can be the difference maker in him playing in the right kind of defense. So let's give Nolan Carroll a chance before we go ahead and say, okay, the guy's due. Lord knows we gave Morris Claiborne year after year chances to see what he had and never really showed a whole lot. So I'm one that's, whoa, Jeremy! Damn. Jeremy, I've got to go ahead and give you this one. Jeremy gets our first.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Jeremy, thank you very much, man. Jeremy, this whole pot, most of this pot is you, buddy. I tell you what, when we meet at one of these games, man, the rum is definitely going to be flowing your way. I'm glad that you like the shirt from Tyron Smith. I had to find something special to send to you, man, but as much as you've been helping out, I appreciate all of you great fans. I mean, I got the salsa here. I'm sorry, it's been a long week and I'm a little bit groggy. I can't remember your name right off the bat here on the salsa that I got. I got Cuban cigars from Terry. Terry has been a fan and a buddy of mine here for years. Terry is down in Florida, and she does all these Comic-Cons, and I tell you what, she is the superhero of superheroes. And if Jobu ever needs to be rescued, Terry, I hope you're the one that rescues him. But then again, after this box of Cuban cigars from Havana, I'm saying this wasn't bought in Miami. These were bought in Miami, and I'm saving these bad boys for Jobu and the season. In fact, I'm making a special humidor just for these cigars because they will only be smoked on special occasions. So I appreciate all of you guys' help in helping making my dreams come true here. All the proceeds are going back into the show. We're definitely going to be tailgating at games, and I just dream about it. I got the SUV with the flat screen TV in the back of it. We've got pork barbecue sliders. We've got tacos, of course. We've got beef stew for Demontre Moore stew, we're going to call it. We're going to have Joe Woo's chicken wings. We're going to have shots of rum, and we will be broadcasting live pregame, hopefully from the game. So, working towards all that, and I appreciate all the help and everything else because, I'd love to quit my day job, but I can't. Oh, Jackie, damn. Thank you, Jackie. I'm getting old and forgetful. We're going to go ahead and do Joe Boo, a special shot tonight. This is what I call my Cowboys blue shot. Okay? I use coconut rum, half of it, and the good old, I cannot pronounce this shit. And one thing you guys know, if you're new to me, listen, I can't spell worth shit. Just can't. You're going to see typos and misspelled names all the time on my stuff. Get it. I know. Okay? Understand that. And I am a name butcher. I will mispronounce a name. I will forget a name. But I don't forget a face. And I don't forget a play. So understand, it's just me. It's not ESPN with a bunch of directors, a whole bunch of people running the different cameras or anything else. It's just me being me, running everything by myself. Of course, my good luck charm, Joe Boo. And Jeremy, dude, you're killing me, man. Another $40? Gee, hold. We're gonna have to do this here.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about that, Cowboys?
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Man, listen, you donated enough, man. I appreciate everything you're doing, dude. But unless you hit the lottery, dude, that's a lot. Um, so back to our Cowboys in this 5 weeks off. I believe that this 5 weeks is going to be critical because, like I said, once the season starts, time is no longer your own. And most cases, you are as healthy as you are going to be day one of training camp. From then on, it's bumps, it's bruises, it's muscle pulls, it's strains, it's turf toes, it's jam fingers, it's strained obliques, sore hamstrings, pulled groins, ACL, partial tears, concussions, everything. It's basically a battle of attrition, and it's just who is hurt the least by the end of the season. It's a marathon. So what we really have to worry about is for Jaylen Smith. The Jaylen Smith that we've been hearing fantastic things about, that literally in the last 6 months he has made leaps and bounds of improvement. I mean, this is a guy who literally they weren't sure that he was ever going to even walk without a limp, who now is looking like he's getting back to the speed he had before the injury. He's looking like he's got all the instincts and stuff. But what we need that 5 weeks for those nerves to really get there. Because it's one thing running around in jersey and a helmet, but it's another when you're taking on a 340-pound offensive guard coming around the corner on you, or tackling, a running back at full speed. We need that thing to heal up and really just take it to a whole nother level between now and training camp. They're going to take it easy on him at camp and all that and try and help it go. But this 5 weeks, they better be hell bent on treating the F out of that ankle, that nerve, and get it together. Because if that guy can be good, and I mean if he can really get good with Sean Lee, and the thing that amazes me about Sean Lee is, and I don't mean to be racial here, I'm not meaning to be racial here at all, but Sean Lee is about the fastest white guy I've ever seen. I remember being down in New Orleans on the sidelines, watching him warm up, going sideline to sideline, and the dude has speed. And last year I said the best thing for Sean Lee is to be on the weak side because with the speed that he has, Sean Lee is better chasing people than being the Mike linebacker where he's taking on those big hits. And that's part of the reason why Sean Lee has been able to stay healthy. He's better chasing guys down. And it paid off. I mean, you look at the amount of tackles he had last year. You look at him being another Pro Bowler. You look at him being healthy. That changing from the weak side is truly his strong point. Now, if we can get Jaylen Smith with his speed on the other side, oh my goodness, that linebacking core will be hellacious. Jeremy, dude, you literally taken all my cash tonight that I have in one fell swoop. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So you got those two right there in the middle. But we have a lot of young guys out there in the defensive backfield. The thing I feel good about, because you start thinking about Awuzie and everybody else in there, is there's going to be a learning curve. When you start talking about maybe having 2 or 3 rookies started, you're talking about some quarterbacks whose chops are going to start licking because they're going to be looking to test those guys. But I think we're not going to see as much as we think as full-time starters. I think Anthony Brown, who seems to be lost in the mix, I think that he is going to have a breakout year. He ended up getting better as the season went on. I put the statistic out there that passes thrown to him in the first half of the season, 88% of them were completed. But the last five games he played in, it was only 50%, and he led the league in yards not given up, or given up, I should say. And that's hard to believe if you think about it. So if he takes off from where he left, all of a sudden, he's getting really, really good. And of course, Orlando Scandrick, I know a lot of people are like, man, he's old and all that. But I like his attitude that he knows the writing's on the wall. I've got young guys that are in there that are cheaper than me, and my time may be short. But I want to win right here, right now. So he's coming to play. And Byron Jones. Byron Jones, who got into a little shoving match with Jason Witten that was more team building. I did a little clip from Remember the Titans and stuff. Quietly, he's really good. And it's possible he could be moved to cornerback. So we do have some veteran talents in there to mix in with the young guys. Oh, Jeremy, man. Jeremy, thank you. I've got your email. I will send you the address and stuff. Jeremy, dude, you're awesome. Oh, wrong one.
One hell of a job. And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Good night, Jeremy. Thanks a lot, dude, man. I don't know what to say, man. You are incredible, dude. I appreciate everything that you've done. And, man, we're going to have hellacious fun come the season. Let me see some of your comments here. I'm sorry. Good night, Jeremy. Yeah, Sergeant Pete says good night, Jeremy. What rookie do I like the most? I like all of them. But I'm hoping that Taco Charlton will be the one. And the reason I say that, believe me, I want all of them to be good. But I need Taco, along with the rest of that defensive line, to truly step up. Because to me, when I played offensive line in high school and I played nose guard in college, and I believe you build a team from the lines out. If that defensive line can do what they haven't really been able to do on a consistent basis, which is to put pressure on the quarterback, that makes the rest of the defense that much better. It keeps the linebackers clean, so they're able to make plays because defensive linemen are not necessarily there to make plays. They are there to make sure the linebackers are in positions to make plays. So it's tying up the offensive lineman, and it's putting pressure on the quarterback. If they can put pressure on the quarterback, keep the quarterbacks to 2-3 seconds to throw, that makes it that much easier for your young defensive backs that are back there. It makes it that much easier for your linebackers to be able to make plays. It keeps you from having to blitz as much. So I'm hoping that Taco Charlton will be the guy. But that's not to say that I don't want all of them to do good, because we have a lot of guys that I believe are playmakers, some playmakers that we haven't had on the team in a while. Hater alert. Okay. Okay, Odell Beckham. Jaylen is a bust. If you say so. But now, Odell, let me say something to you, buddy. Here's what's interesting. I remember the beginning of last year, I was talking to a lot of the Eagle trolls who were talking about Dak Prescott was a dink and dunk quarterback, that Carson Wentz was the better quarterback. And I debated with them. I gave them stats and everything else. But what's interesting is by about week 6 or 7, they disappeared. So if you're going to come in here and talk the talk, be sure to walk the walk. So if your team ends up being dog do, and Eli Manning stays the turnover machine that he is, and Odell Beckham goes out and cries, or puts his hand through the wall, or goes hanging out with Justin Bieber, be sure that you bring your behind back here so we can talk about it. That's the only thing I ask. Okay? We got it? We cool? Okay. So, like I said, if you're going to talk the talk, then walk the walk. Jackie, I agree. Demontre Moore stew, and that's what my new recipe is going to be, I think is actually going to be really, really good. He's one of those guys who's been a journeyman and just hasn't found his niche and his home and the right coaching. We've seen lots of these guys that have come through Dallas that have been journeymen. They've had a cup of coffee here, a cup of coffee there, but never really amounted to much until they got here. Played a year or two, all of a sudden, boom, they get a big fat contract elsewhere. And right now, Demontre Moore has been taking first team reps and looking really, really good. And when you take first team reps and you're going against Tyron Smith, you're just going to get that much better. So I believe we're going to have actually a great rotation. Our biggest problem may be is we can't keep everybody. We have guys that are truly fighting it out. We'll keep probably about 8 of them, but with DeMarcus Lawrence, with Tyrone Crawford, with Taco, with Demontre Moore, with Collins, we've got a lot of Thornton. We've got a lot of guys in there that are all battling out for very few positions. And that's one of those things I feel great about, that everybody is kind of like, you want to be part of something special, you got to earn it. And it's open competition for a lot of these spaces that it's going to be the best guy that plays. Well, that's very true, Carlos. When you talk about a rookie may shock everybody, because not too many people thought Dak Prescott was going to be much of anything. I mean, if you looked at the preseason or the draft reports and stuff, you'll see a full page of Carson Wentz. You'll see about a paragraph that was on Dak Prescott, the Tim Tebow 2.0. So you never know who's going to be good. Anthony Brown, 4th round draft pick. Who thought Anthony Brown was going to be able to play the way he did? So more times than not, it's not that guy who's everybody thinks is going to be fantastic that is the one. It's the guys later on that nobody thought about. That have that chip on their shoulders, that have to earn it. So any starters that might lose his job. Tyrone Crawford could. I think DeMarcus Lawrence could definitely lose their starting job. There's a couple of guys that are out there. Scandrick could lose his job. So, yeah, there's plenty of guys that may end up losing, position. Anthony Hitchens could definitely lose his job to Jaylen Smith. Oh, wow. I'm not sure what your name is. At Lay G, okay, whatever you are, with all the Should the Cowboys go after Richard Sherman or Darrelle Revis or Raheem Moore? Darrelle Revis, apparently the Cowboys have no interest in Darrelle Revis. I don't think Darrelle Revis fits the system. I think that Dez Bryant is just being Dez, having fun, and maybe thinking that he'd like to have him on the team and stuff, but I don't think that's going to happen, so we won't even talk about that. Richard Sherman. And if you guys watch me, I've talked a lot about Richard Sherman because I believe there's a lot of turmoil. Where there's smoke, there's fire. If Richard Sherman originally asked for a trade, you can't tell me that now it's a kumbaya moment and he feels great about the team and everything else in that locker room. If it's been truly bugging him for 2 years about losing that Super Bowl. And I think Pete Carroll is looking at this as, he's getting older. I need to try and get something for him. He's becoming a cancer to the team because whether they're talking about we're getting along or we're talking about I wanted to be traded and I think I wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy, it's still taking focus away from the team. And when you're talking about this whole situation, you're talking about Russell Wilson, your quarterback, your leader. It's undermining the team. And I believe that something's going to happen with Richard Sherman before the season starts. That's just me. I could be completely wrong. I can't say that I'm always right. But I feel like something is going to happen there. And I think for the Cowboys to be in the position that they are right now, because they've taken care of business with this team, getting out of cap hell, having $17 million of cap space, having next year 4 compensatory picks. So we're looking at having 9 or 10 picks next year, with us having one of the younger teams in the NFL. That gives you an opportunity to say, maybe I can go ahead and try and get that veteran now. and take a risk on it and see how it works out. Because I look at this team, and I've always thought that a team needs a leader who's a little vocal, a little edgy, a guy who's going to get up in your face. And I don't see anybody on this team that gets up into your face. You know what I mean? I got to tell you from personal experience with Charles Haley. Charles Haley will get in your face. If you were screwing up, it was like you stole something from his mama. He was going to put a foot in your ass, and either you're going to beat that guy or you're going to get your ass beat. And sometimes that's what you need to get off of these guys. You know, Jason Garrett, love the guy, but it's his whole clapping thing. You know, we'll get him next time. No, forget that. You need somebody to get into the guy's face to motivate them, to put a foot in their ass, to get them to roll. Tony Mandarich. Oh, man, are we talking about bust? Yeah, we're definitely talking about bust. That's if you guys look at Charles Haley's profile picture, you'll see that Joe Boo is actually his Facebook profile picture. And the reason is I used to write blogs when I had more time, but it's so much easier doing videos. And I wrote a blog about Jack, Tony Mandarich being the guy that everybody thought was going to revolutionize offensive line. This dude was big at the time. You know, he was like 310 pounds, but he was like Adonis. He worked out on Muscle Beach with all these bodybuilders. He was huge. He was a baller in college. And they knew that when he got to the NFL, he was going to be a road grader. But dude was a bust. Now, he played okay in the tail end of his career in Green Bay and things like that, but he was never the guy. Charles Haley, JMU, Division I AA school, never had a winning season. 6'4", about 245. Didn't like the weight room much. Drafted by San Francisco in the 4th round. Yet that guy had 100.5 sacks. Hall of Famer. A guy that nobody thought about. So, it's interesting with football. It's completely unpredictable. So, I believe that Richard Sherman would be a good addition to this team. That's just my gut feeling. And I don't think that he's going to be with Seattle. I think if Seattle got the right offer, he'd be gone tomorrow. Roids. Alan, you're right. He was big into steroids, but, you know, truth be told, the stuff that football players are doing right now is unnatural. It's not natural for a guy to be 6'5", 300 pounds, running a 4.5 40. It's just not. Daniel, I'm going to tell you, Charles was a nut. Charles, I could go into stories about Charles. Charles was funny. Charles would talk some trash, and Charles would turn like that, and you feel like you're about to get your ass kicked. Do the Giants have an O-line? Do the Giants have an O-line and a running back? Because I got to tell you, I still think it's great that you got Brandon Marshall, but I don't think you have enough offensive linemen to keep Eli protected. I don't think you're gonna have enough of a running game, and I don't think you're gonna have enough balls to go around to keep all those wide receivers together. And I'm telling you, the Giants are gonna be taking a step back. Yeah, okay, so we've definitely got the troll in here. We haven't had trolls for a while. Well, Marcellus, it's possible. I think, have the Cowboys run the ball more, especially those last couple of games where he basically didn't play, I think he could definitely get to 2,000 yards. But the problem is this. I don't know that I want to see him running 2,000 yards because when you look at the numbers of running backs that get 2,000 yards or get close to it or get over that 300 carry range in a season, more times than not, they kind of go off a cliff. And you don't want to have Zeke become Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson looked unstoppable there. But then all of a sudden, after that big season, down the toilet. I'm okay if he's got 15, 1,600 yards and we're winning Super Bowls. I don't need to see 2,000 yards. I'd like to see him playing 6, 7, 8 years productive and not burned out. So it's possible, without a doubt, with that offensive line. It's definitely possible. Do I want to see it? I don't think so. LeVar Bell, Dad of the Year. Mark Holmes, Dad of the Decade. Man, thank you, Mr. Wright. But I'm not sure LeVar Bell is Dad of the Year. That dude's a little bit crazy. Jack Smith, good one. Okay. Stop attention or well, Rodney, here's the thing about Philadelphia fans, man. Philadelphia fans always think they're going to be better than Dallas. They could have sworn that Carson Wentz was head and shoulders better than Dak Prescott. And still to this day, they will tell you, well, 5 years from now, Carson Wentz is going to be the better quarterback. What? Huh? Really? Um, we all know that Odell is a team player. Man, I don't want to talk about Giants, but man, Odell, I'm sorry. Odell is not a guy, great talent, but it's not a guy I would want on my team. He's an attention seeker when things are good, but when things are bad, Odell, buddy, you just don't want to be there. You think that nobody should talk to you or say anything, even though you get in people's faces when you win. Me in the playoffs. Okay, I'm just going to ignore don't get it twisted. Daryl Washington, John, thanks. I got to tell you, looking at his workouts, now again, he hasn't played for a couple of years. Knowing he's got a shaded past with the drug issues and things like that. But like I was saying before, here's the thing. I've made mistakes. I bet a lot of you guys have made mistakes. And it's not the mistake as much as what you do afterwards. Greg Hardy is a perfect example of what not to do. Greg Hardy should have learned from his mistakes, but instead, Greg Hardy just took it as, you know what? I got off. I don't give a bleep what anybody thinks, and I'm going to do whatever the F I want to do. Sorry. That's why you can't get a job in the NFL. It's what you do afterwards that counts. You see him working out. You see him in great shape. You haven't heard about any more problems. He finally got off of there. You sign him to a veteran minimum, and you see what you have. The worst thing that can happen is he can't play. He's too old. Just doesn't have it. Maybe it's up here in the mind, but the body's not there. And if he isn't, then you let him go. But what if he still has that Daryl Washington that was with the Cardinals, that was playing lights out? What if that guy still exists? And you could actually bring him in for peanuts and he wants to be here to prove something? Hey, I'd say it's worth a shot, but you do your homework first. You check it out. You check underneath every single rock. Find out what the guy had for lunch 3 weeks ago. What's my top 5 hated teams? Oh, Redskins is number 1. Eagles, Giants. After that, I don't have any other teams that I hate. Well, maybe the Steelers. I got to put them up there, of course. And number 5, who else do I hate? I don't know that I hate anybody else. But I got to tell you a little funny story. You guys know my day job. I do work and stuff with the Smithsonian and things. And we were in a pre-construction meeting yesterday at the American Indian Museum, which is a beautiful museum in D.C. And as we're doing this pre-construction meeting, the curator of the museum says, okay, he said, rule number 1, any of the construction workers come in wearing paraphernalia from that team from D.C., they will be sent home and suspended from the job. And I was thinking, wait a minute, is this guy a follower of the Jobu Sports Report, and he's saying this because he loves the Cowboys? And that's in my mind is what I'm thinking. But it's actually because no, they don't want the name the Redskins or any of that shown in the museum because they view it as being racist. So I didn't say, "Oh, is cowboy gear okay?" But I probably better that I didn't. But anyway, why hate the 40? They're too terrible. Yeah, I could probably put the 49ers on there because back in the 80s that was pretty ugly too. I could also put Green Bay in there because Green Bay, let's face it, actually Green Bay should definitely be their number 4 because we've had some heartbreakers in Green Bay. Oh my God, the Ice Bowl, jeez. From that point on, and yeah, Green Bay definitely we'll put there. Where's my son? My son is actually over on the sofa there, passed the F out because we got about 4 hours sleep last night because we worked late last night and then we were in early this morning. We've been running around all day, so he's knocked out. He just can't hang. Quit my day job? No, I can't quit my day job. As much as I love doing this, this is not paying the bills. Filthy Savage Music. Check out your page. Okay. Um, well, how about them Cowboys? I got to tell you, I hope that he's in there. If he's not, then they just need to do away with the show because for the number of statistics that he had, he should definitely be in the top 20. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Nice, yeah. You like that? That's figured that would be the perfect place to put it there. How about them Cowboys? I haven't forgot you, buddy. I have just been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and don't worry, I'm going to take care of you. Funniest Cowboy player of all time? Hollywood Henderson, of course, Sandman. Hollywood Henderson. And for those of you who don't know, you got to check out some of the clips of Hollywood, man, because he was crazy. And he was kind of the anti Tom Landry. Tom Landry was cool as a cucumber. Tom Landry was straight as an arrow. Tom Landry didn't like the Cowboys having cheerleaders because that just was not, the wholesome image that he wanted to put out there. Hollywood Henderson was out there. I mean, Hollywood was crazy, literally because his nickname was Hollywood because he was a nut. So he was definitely one of the most fun ones. Um, Little Sonic, you didn't miss too much, man. We've been talking about what else? The Dallas Cowboys. We've got a giant troll that's in the house who is, believing that his Giants are going all the way. We have all of our great fans in here, like Sandman and Jackie Smith. We've got Sarah in here. We got Letitia. I always love it when the ladies are in the house. We need to get more of you ladies in the man cave here. Michael Irvin was definitely fun too, but I still say Hollywood Henderson was great. And that's the thing that I miss is for a lot of you guys are a lot younger than I am, so you don't really know what it's like. After free agency came in, it changed the whole landscape of football. Football used to be, if you were a Dallas Cowboy player, you were pretty much a Dallas Cowboy player for your whole career. Same thing with the Redskins or the Raiders or whatever. There wasn't the movement that you have now. So you really got to know the guys. It wasn't about just the star. It was about Randy White, Harvey Martin, Too Tall Jones, Hollywood Henderson, Charlie Waters, because you knew year after year after year these guys were going to be there. And they were Cowboys for life. And they hated the Over the Hill gang, the Dave Butts, the World Grants, the Charles Manns, the John Riggins. You truly had that division. Now, guys, off season, they work out together from different teams. They're over on the sidelines, joking, changing jerseys and passing shoes back and forth and everything else. Jeremy, I thought you went to bed, buddy. Damn, Jeremy. Dude.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Jeremy, you have 2 questions, please. How do I think Carson Wentz would do if he was on Dallas and not Philadelphia? I think he would do better than he did in Philadelphia because Philadelphia basically is the armpit of the world. Because he would have simply a better offensive line and better wide receivers. However, I don't think he would have done as well as Dak Prescott did. I just see him as a little bit slow on pulling the trigger and holding the ball maybe a little bit too long, and I don't think he has the accuracy that Dak Prescott did. Now, when I was originally looking at I didn't know anything about. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big college football guy. Okay, I focus in on NFL players and I focus in on guys when they get to the NFL, and I know my Dallas Cowboys. So for me, doing the good old draft reports and all that stuff, it's hard work because it's like something I really don't do a lot of. But when I went to the Senior Bowl, because everybody was talking about Carson Wentz as a great quarterback and stuff, and I watched Carson Wentz play, and then all of a sudden I seen Dak Prescott, and I was like, Dak Prescott, who's he? And I started watching the game, and I was like, he played better than Carson Wentz in that game. I started looking at the film and stuff, and seeing the accuracy that he had with the players that were around him against the great competition in the Southeast Conference. Then I started looking at Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz played well, don't get me wrong, but it was Division I AA. The difference being is his conference, on average, puts about 4 players in the NFL and very rarely number 1 picks. The Southeast Conference, on a yearly basis, puts 50 or more guys in the NFL with teams that year after year are challenging for a Super Bowl. Excuse me, for a national championship. So I'm looking at this guy is thriving in the Southeast Conference on a team that's got nobody against the best competition in football. Carson Wentz is playing against guys that won't be in the NFL level. So I was looking at that and saying, this guy's been tested under fire. This guy's going to learn today. He's going to learn today what it's like being in the NFL. So that's question number 1. And back in the day, how mad were you when they? Oh God, oh jeez. Yeah, I was mad. I'll be honest. I'm still kind of mad. I'm still wishing that we had Jimmy Johnson today instead of Jason Garrett. That was unbelievable. Here it is. We got 2 Super Bowls. We hadn't had that since the 70s. The team was good, but we got 2 Super Bowls with a young team. They're fun to watch. They're coached well. They're running away with the NFL. And now, you fired the coach? Huh? Jerry, really? And said, with the team that I put together, there's 500 people that could win the Super Bowl. And you decided to find the worst one, Barry Switzer. That was one of those ones like, excuse my language, what the fuck? So yeah, I was upset because you look at some of the guys that we've had as coaches, Jeremy, since then, and ugh, yeah, I was definitely mad. But Jeremy, I thought you were heading to bed, man. Thank you very much, Jeremy, buddy. You fattened that wallet up big time. Um, do the referees improve this year? Doubt it. We've been going through the same thing with the officials. Now, I think they should be full-time officials as opposed to these guys that have a regular job and everything else. But part of the problem is the rule book is so thick. There's so many different calls and changes in the rules that you can't get all of it right, no matter how hard you try. And part of the problem, of course, is the amount of cameras that are there where we see stuff that they don't see, and we see it in super slow motion. Now, the thing that bothers me sometimes is sometimes you got some of these officials that may be a little bit biased. That call, Bryce Butler going in and out of the huddle, called twice ever, both times by the same official on the Dallas Cowboys. Are you kidding me? You telling me that that wasn't biased? So, yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have guys that, take it easy, Corey, that are going to be more biased. And I don't think it's necessarily that they're trying to make bad calls, but I think it's kind of they want to make bad calls to support the other team. Or they're not going to give the Cowboys the benefit of the doubt. You know, they're going to be harder on the Cowboys than they may be on somebody else because, of course, everybody uh, is down on the Cowboys. Is not a Cowboy fan. Well, I think the way we need to find to beat Green Bay in the playoffs is pressure. If you look at what happened in both of those playoff games against Green Bay, the problem was couldn't put pressure on Aaron Rodgers down the stretch. And that's why for years I've been saying we need that 800-pound gorilla, the guy that will literally make the quarterback piss his pants. The guy who's going to get up in his face and, talk some crap, a Charles Haley type. I'm hoping that Taco will be the man off the edge. Heck, it may be Demontre Moore. But we've got to get pressure on that quarterback. And maybe, just maybe, I still think that we're not looking at the whole team right now. I still believe that the Cowboys are going to be watching the waiver wires because you're going to see a lot of great players that still have it in the tank. The Cowboys might say, you know what, we're going to take a chance on this because now is bargain basement time. It's like musical chairs. There ain't that many chairs that are left. I just got cut. I want to be on the team. So you're not paying first day of free agency money on these guys. You're paying bargain basement time. So I'm thinking that the Cowboys may be still trying to make a few moves. They're still bringing in guys, checking them out and everything else. So they are trying to do anything and everything to get better. And I still believe that Richard Sherman, it's possible. Yeah, well, there's so many calls that we've had against this that have been just BS that have always gone our way. And it seems like we get calls at the worst time. Think about when Aaron Rodgers was running around and threw that pass play. If you slow that play down and look at it, you can't tell me there wasn't holding in there. That play shouldn't have never gone through, but yet they miss that. But they don't ever seem to miss a holding play on the Cowboys, do they? And how many times have we had Zeke going down for a 30-yard gain and all of a sudden, holding, illegal man in the huddle. It's always some crazy bullshit-ass call that happens against the Cowboys. Doomsday 1 or at, that Doomsday defense was hell. God, that was an unbelievable defense. But our 90s defense, they don't get the credit because we talk about the triplets all the time, but that was a lights-out defense as well. That defense was ranked number one of those years back in there. And they were beasts. I mean, they had studs all over the place. I mean, you think about Deion Sanders, you think about Charles Haley, you think about Leon Lett. We had, Sean Woodson. Woodson and everything else. Sorry, my brain is still scattered. I need to get some sleep. But that defense was fantastic. I'm hoping that this defense can get there. And instead of the offense helping the defense starts helping the offense. How about the Cowboys? Let Zeke eat. I love it for my wonderful wife. She got me some great stuff. And I got a gimbal for my cell phone, so when I'm doing videos and things like that, that it's literally I can dance a jig, and the camera's going to stay still. So we're going to be doing some better work and stuff video-wise. Now, one other thing too, a bunch of you have ordered shirts. Caesar did not get them finished last weekend. I'm supposed to get them on Sunday. And if you want to know what they're going to look like, if anybody wants to get one, that's what the new T-shirts are going to look like, at least the first ones. The other ones I'm going to do eventually will be Spread the Mojo. They'll be in on Sunday. There were a couple people that were asking me about a 6XL. Can't get a 6XL. I can get 5XLs, and I ordered a couple of those, and I can get 4XLs as well. So if you want one of those sizes, or if you want one that's an off size, go ahead and go to Cowboy Joe Boo. Go to Cowboy Joe Boo, and I didn't put the link on here. I forgot to do that. .com, and you can see the shirts and stuff on there. But if you want a size that's not listed on there, go ahead and just send me an email, and then that way I can go ahead and see what we can do about getting a special size or something for you. I hear Michael over there snoring. Question for you guys before it's actually getting close to 10 o'clock. How was the picture tonight? Was the video quality and sound better than it's been before? Was it clearer? Did it come through better? I've been doing some changes and stuff with as you guys know, because I keep accidentally going live streaming here as I've been fixing it. Hopefully the picture quality is better. Hopefully the sound looks better. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the good old extra effects that we've been doing. Actually, Sarah, I haven't stopped doing the Benet Emery show. It's actually on they go on vacation for the month of July, month of June. They'll be back in July. We're working on some things and all that. I may still be on there. I may not still be on there. We may be just kind of going in some different directions and stuff, but it's not a done deal one way or the other. So we'll see what happens come the end of the month. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Sam, man. Like I said, we're always trying, or I'm always trying. When I say we are, me and Joe Boo, we're always trying to upgrade, trying to make this thing look as good as possible, bring you the best information. Sounds robotic. Okay, I've got to work on the microphone. It may be that I may not have this mic on. It may end up being the webcam mic. So let me work on that then too, and make sure we don't we can get that straightened out. Dirty old man, 66. I'd be willing to take a flyer on Daryl Washington. I think the guy's got immense talent. If he's got his head on and still has anything in the tank from before, he's a worthwhile signing to me. Alan, I agree with you on that. I think Dak has found the home. Dak now has gotten the weight of Tony Romo off his back. He's grabbed the reins of this team, and he is ready to take it to another level. And the thing about Dak Prescott is everybody in that locker room is following his lead. They are literally riding and dying with him. And that's not just the offensive guys. That's the offense. That's the defense. That's everybody is rallying behind that guy. And that's rare to see everybody literally going there. Two things happened last year with Dak Prescott that really let me know he was the guy. From what I had heard in training camp last year, Dez had done something on a pass route. And Dak got into his face. Dak's a rookie. Dez is the man. Dak got into his face and said, "You're going to do dut, 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 or you're not going to get the damn ball." And from what I heard, Dez was like, "Okay, you're right." That was leadership. He's letting him know, this is what I need, this is what I expect, and this is what we're going to do. That right there let me know, all of a sudden, wait. Dez Bryant didn't get into that guy's face for saying that? Oh, okay. But the fact that Jason Witten, who is Tony Romo's best buddy, by midseason fell in line and believed in Dak Prescott. And if Jason Witten, who's best friend, roomed with Tony Romo all these years, hoped to win a ring with Tony Romo. If Jason Witten fell in line behind Dak Prescott, dude, that's all you need to know. That guy's a leader. And I believe he's going to lead this team someplace special. The thing I love right now is those guys, the receivers and Dak, are all going to be working out between now and training camp. Less opportunity to get in trouble. Those guys are going to get better and better and better. That's something we haven't been able to do working out in the offseason because our quarterback or our number one wide receiver have been rehabbing. That's why you got to feel excited about this young team and excited about this season coming up. And before you know it, guys, it's going to be here. It's 5 weeks from training camp. 5 weeks. We've already got 5 months behind us. It's coming fast. And you guys better be ready for it. I'm working my way to make sure that I'm ready to bring you guys the best news on the Dallas Cowboys. I want to thank Jeremy. I know you've already gone to bed. Jeremy, dude, thank you. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys that have been on here tonight and supporting the show, because you guys make me want to do better. And you make me want to make sure that this is the number one Dallas Cowboys YouTube site on the internet. And I'm going to make sure I get there with your help. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Be safe out there. And, of course, we're going to end on...
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Have a great night and a great weekend. And I will see you guys Monday at 9.